I thought, do we figure out how to zero things out in
Yeah, I don't think there's a way. Hold on, let me fix this. There we go. Now everybody's in the right spots. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to A Company of Fools. We have returned with your Monday night D&D stream, and we are happy to be here once again. Before we get started, a couple of quick announcements. We gave out our dice for October. Unicorn dice were sent out by, or will be sent out by our sponsor Farboco, to uh, the Johnson King is the name of the Twitch viewer who won the dice. They'll be on their way out shortly. Yeah, that's the name. Anyway, we'll be starting a new giveaway for the month of November. I will get that up and rolling probably tomorrow. You don't see it here, but I will make sure that any subs that we get today are accredited to the giveaway. Every month, for every 50 subs we get, we do give away a set of unicorn dice, care of farboco.com, our local gaming store here in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area. If you are in the United States of America and you would like to order from their online store, please go to their website and check them out. They do deliver to the continental U.S. Please support your local game stores and go check out their website and support some really awesome people who like to promote us as well. We're still on the hunt for 500 followers. We are at 437 right now. And when we hit 500, we're going to give away a copy of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. So, please, share the stream. Tell people how awesome we are. And get them over here checking us out so that they can come and follow us and maybe get themselves a copy of this next sweet new D&D book. I'm looking forward to it, and I've been avoiding spoilers. There are many people who have not been, and they all seem to be looking forward to what's in there, or at least looking forward to arguing about what's in there. Welcome to the D&D community, if you didn't already know that that's what we're like. Otherwise, this Saturday is our charity stream. We will be participating in Extra Life's big game day, and hopefully raising some money for some kids who need it. Meanwhile, I will be running a one-shot from around 12 Eastern time in the on Saturday until my Saturday PM game starts, during which, a bunch of 12th level bards are going to run me through the ringer. So yeah, enjoy that and give some good funds to some good causes. Anyway.
So many seduction rolls.
Oh god, it's gonna be awful. I'm playing a I'm going to be running a module for them that hopefully it will lead to some very odd and interesting situations if they decide to roll seduction rolls, because I think there's mostly giants. It's mostly giants. Mostly giants.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
Is there any situation where they might be giants?
Yeah. Anyway, Stu, do you want to get us started with introducing our characters?
Nice. I'm Stu. I play Gaz, the half-orc Oath of Redemption paladin and commander of the Phoenix Legion.
Hi, I'm Dio. I'm playing Sparks, rogue artificer.
Hi, I'm Adam. I play Captain Trix, the Tome Warlock of the Deeps.
Hi, I'm John. I play Preacher, the chaplain of the Legion and cleric of Orad.
I am the Mark Knight. I am your dungeon master. Unfortunately, John, who plays Broker, will be stepping away from the game. He acquired a new job, which will cut into his D&D availability, and he had to bid farewell to the crew here. It's been about a week in the world of Oridon since all of you allowed the city council to meet within the halls of the Citadel. Over that time, the constabulary forces in the neutral districts of the city have been placed under the direct command of the Legion. Your
What
ranks...
few there are now.
What's that?
What few neutral districts there are now.
Correct. You've been given a modicum of power and funding now that you are considered the true and rightful protectors of the city of Grovair.
Not enough to increase our funding level, though, right? It's still at 4.
Oh no, it's increased.
Yeah, we got the entirety released to us. All of the back pay.
Yeah, the let's see. It was at...
I think you said
it is. It is at 4. It is at 4.
Okay.
Which is a hell of a lot better than it was.
Yes.
Almost double the... Well, practically double. Or was that 2? Now it's at 4.
At this point, the Legion has essentially doubled in size of your command. With the constabulary forces are added. Actually, it may be more than that. You had... What's that? About 330-ish troops.
Thereabouts, I think.
Yeah.
Including the contingent that showed up from the desert?
Yes.
Okay.
With the addition of the city guard, from 5 districts plus the palace, 6 districts plus the palace. I'm going to say that brings your troop count to roughly 1,500 troops, approximately.
So we actually have quite a bit of room for growth.
You do. And you may need to start thinking about restructuring the Legion.
I'll actually be working with Commander Gads about that, like establishing liaisons with the different constabulary forces, seeking out people within the constabularies that do have military experience in training, and trying to be like, okay, we need, if we're going to be expanding even further, we need senior non-coms, we need trainers, we need experienced people to lead our incoming recruits. So these creatures going to be trying to organize everything to get that ready.
And during the week, we would also be looking into the death certificate and possible autopsy of the ghost woman that we met, along with Drake Weston.
Okay. I'll have you make some rolls in regards to that at a later time.
Then Pritchard wanted to be able to lay her to rest, so up to him whether he wants to do it before or after we attempt gathering that information.
I say gather later to rest immediately. We can find out that she doesn't need to. She deserves her rest at this point. She doesn't getting these answers will not grant her any more peace from her current condition.
Okay.
Did we have anything else on the docket in the intervening week?
I was going to say, like, once we do get the constabulary forces in order, move a bunch towards the courthouse.
Yeah, makes sense. And actually, yeah, the half that we were planning on taking with us, I think.
No, because per Preacher's meeting with Lord Dolan, he's concerned that Weston might move on the courthouse, so we need to have should have at least a force there to forestall that.
I will remind you that in terms of the map in front of you, you basically have two armies that you can utilize. The initial forces of the Legion that you have, and then the constabulary force, which you can essentially use to establish a presence in a specific location. That doesn't mean that the other spaces will not have, a policing force to do the day-to-day protecting and city watch work. But if you are to move in force on any location or make your presence known, essentially garrison your troops or make an attack or whatnot, you have two of those little markers on the board now, not just the one.
Okay.
You will need to determine where you are placing them. I will also remind you that if you do not have a garrisoned force at the Citadel, then any other force can come in and garrison themselves there and attempt to take control of your holdings.
Yeah, that's...
We were discussing that before you got on the call.
So what idea do we want to go with? Because we definitely can't take the entire Legion to go to Weston.
I liked the half and half idea.
Anyone else?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's reasonable compromise. I would say, though, that we do keep like a line of communication open with House Carmichael, so that if Benton does try to move on the Citadel again, they can be ready to move.
Makes sense.
We also have the sending stones now.
Oh, yes, we do.
Remember that the sending stones are... You have one pair of sending stones that connect to each other. So...
I think that Spark should keep one and Silver should keep the other, because we often keep Silver in locations.
Yeah. Or at least that should definitely be the setup for right now, since Silver, Broker, and Rook will all be remaining at the Citadel as we move on Weston.
All right.
Okay.
So, okay, we want half the Legion remaining at the Citadel.
Okay.
Half of the Constabulary is coming with us, along with half the Legion. And how many of the Constabulary do we want to report to the courthouse to safeguard it?
I feel as much as we can spare.
So here's my question in terms of the diplomacy map, for a lack of a better way of putting it. Your actual army unit, where is it moving to? You have one that you're keeping at the Citadel, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And your second one is going to be going where?
I would assume from 39 to 48, because otherwise we can't. I don't think we'd have the availability to get into Weston's territory, would we?
Wait,
No,
actually, no.
Do we know where he is? Like, because we're assuming that he's at his house, but he could be at his boat.
You don't currently know where he is, but if you'd like to have Broker's network try to figure out where he is, we can make some rolls for that.
During the intervening week, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Then I will need you to make an espionage roll, which is going to be essentially a D20 plus Broker's investigation bonus, which I can look up.
And who wants
So
to make
they
the
just-
roll?
So it's an investigation roll, basically.
Thanks,
With-
Nat 30s for the sub.
I think.
Oof.
Wow, with
Does he have an inspiration point?
you.
He's an
But I
NPC
think-
now. They
He's
don't
an NPC.
have inspiration points.
That
Aww.
might have been for the first day. Like, it would probably take a while to locate Weston anyway.
Right?
I'm just looking up Broker's.
It's a plus 10, apparently.
It is a plus
Someone
10,
rolled.
yes. Ah, a 12. Okay. And then I also need a I will also need a stealth roll.
Like a group one, or just for?
Just
From Broker.
just for him. Just a D20 plus his stealth.
He has
Nice.
advantage.
Yes. Okay.
So
So, over the course of the week, you Broker's Information Network is unable to determine the exact location of Lord Weston, whether he is in his home or on his flagship. They tell you that it seems that he is he is aware of what is going to happen.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
The council wasn't exactly secretive about it.
But as far as you know, at the same time, their investigative measures did not go detected by anyone within Weston's regime. So you're playing a bit of a guessing game when it comes to where you're hunting down Lord Weston.
Could we have the Dragonborn crew maybe take the sub out, or the submersible out, and try and see whether he's aboard his flagship?
His flagship is currently docked
Okay.
at the naval shipyards. He is not. He has left the city to fend for itself for the last week.
So, I'd say we have like a lookout or two at the Citadel. Keep an eye on the flagship.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
And can we also have Broker investigate the Weston situation? Or the Drake Weston and the late...
Yeah, I'll give you that information again. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
Later on.
Not an active situation.
not an active situation. It's passive.
So where is Weston's estate? Here?
48.
That is the Naval Academy. I think Weston's estate would probably be in 50. Close to where the close to where the palace is. Probably all three of the older houses have estates right in that part of the city.
Yeah.
Well, in
Makes
which case we could ask Dolan if we could maybe transport in here and move immediately towards Weston's estate. That sound good?
I'd say I'd say just,
Or do we want to make a march of it?
I'd say make a march of it.
If you're moving an entire, you're an army, an army unit towards Weston, then you will have to take it, like, you'll have to actually make moves, because it takes time for a unified force to mobilize in the city. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go by land then.
Okay, so then that's fine. If you as the command crew with like a squad of men are going there, that's different. That is RPG movement, not diplomacy movement, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go through friendly territory and the like.
Yes.
Okay, so how... So should we go through Carmichael's and then through the one of Foster and then through Dolan's? Or how are we... Because otherwise we'd be going through one of Keaton's and they might not be welcoming. Or they might be kind of in disarray and pulling back anyway.
Do you want to start the... Are you actively moving an armed force against Weston's location? Is that your plan?
Well, the thing is, we need to arrest him.
Right.
And he's in his territory, so we are assuming he's not going to be welcoming, and we can expect retaliation.
So
here,
armed but not brandishing arms.
So here's what I'm asking. Okay, are you taking a battalion of troops to go arrest Lord Weston, or are you taking the commanders and a couple of squads of men to go?
We're taking battalions.
Okay, if you're taking a battalion, then you can tell me, are they starting off in 12?
They're starting off at the Citadel, essentially.
Okay.
3.
Then they would be in 12 to start moving over land towards Weston. I will tell you that that's fine. We'll start it off there, and you want to contact Carmichael and let her know what your plan is. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to contact like all the other houses, and we are moving towards Weston to arrest him as you guys asked, and bringing him back to the Citadel, and because we're expecting that he's not going to
Okay.
do it about it. We're moving basically, like, we're moving our battalion. We don't want to invade you. We're just making sure
that's
we're
fine.
doing the job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will. Then either you can liaise with the diplomacy players via Lord Dolan, or Lady Carmichael, or whoever you wish to contact. They're all, or I can do that on your behalf and let them know what your plan is.
I think we can contact all of them personally.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they might take it.
How long is it going to take to move the battalions, as in diplomacy, as in contrast as playing D&D?
Yours will be in 12 is where your new battalion will begin. Okay, so
Okay.
I will have that placed immediately, and then when the diplomacy players submit what their plans are, I will include your plans as to where you're moving your battalion from 12, where it will be going. So it'll move. Your battalion will move at the same time as all of the diplomacy players' battalions. Okay, so every time they get a move, you will get a move.
Sorry.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, Keaton's pretty much donezo.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're contained.
I mean, would it make sense to just go from 12 to 53, and then we can say that we're heading to 54 to liberate the council chambers, and then from there jump off to 50?
That'd
work.
That would probably make the most sense. That was my expectation.
Yeah.
So, okay. That works for me. I know how to translate that into diplomacy. And for those of you watching who have no idea what we're talking about, I'm sorry. And as you see it play out, you will understand. In terms of In essence, we are playing both D&D and a war game at the same time. So, yeah. Okay.
Not a war game because I don't have a crippling miniature addiction.
Oh God. Hello, dog. What are you doing? Sorry. My pet has decided to interrupt our game. But
It was an up dog.
It was an up dog. Yeah.
So how does this work in terms of the session, considering that I know diplomacy generally doesn't move that quickly because we're basically moving the battalion in a single day over to there.
Right. Again, moving the city of Grovair is built to be difficult to move through, especially with large forces of troops. So it makes sense that it will take time to do that, especially if you're planning on clashing with Weston's forces in the area surrounding the council chambers. And basically moving in and making a declaration of like, leave now or else. And not necessarily, that doesn't necessarily mean you're looking to like start a battle as much as it is like a show of force demanding their withdrawal, right? That's what my expectation is of the Legion.
Yeah.
Regardless, that confrontation, it's going to take time. It will essentially, in terms of the diplomacy game, it's going to take 2 turns for you to get there, right? As far as this session, again, you don't know where Weston is, so it's difficult for you to even send an advanced force. However, one of the things I wanted to do was establish what you're doing with all of the new recruits you have, which kind of gives me an idea. You've consolidated your forces, and you are moving against Weston actively. Lord Weston has gone to ground, from what you've discovered, and you're not sure exactly where that is for him. The question is, what are the senior officers doing in the meantime? In game, comparatively in game, like next week, you'll probably be at 53, right? As far as all of that is concerned. I know that slows down exactly what your plan was.
I'd say like we have some time. We try to take another crack at Mythfont.
Not the worst idea. There could be something there that could definitely help us. I mean, we are still one group against several.
From what I feel, Merwin specifically designed the method to get to Mythfont so that anyone that would actually go there would be the last people who would actually use anything they found there.
Well, essentially what you're saying is that
people that would be responsible enough.
The people whose intent would not be to use it for their
own purposes. Yeah.
Didn't he put it there after using it for his own purposes?
He put it there to protect everyone else from what's in.
He might have recovered relics from who knows who.
Saying just to go grab every rock that he has there and just throw it at Weston until something blows up. But we're trying to organize and unite a city before a dragon comes to destroy everything. I think we should be looking for advantages there.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be why go to Mythfont.
Yeah.
Not so much against Weston, because he'll be comparatively easy to deal with.
Compared to a dragon.
Right. As I said, comparatively.
But he is still part of a greater problem, which is uniting the city.
True. But yeah, while our forces marshal and start moving, we can go to Mythfont. Sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
So who will be leading the forces? Like if we go to game wise, I understand why we're going to Midfont, but like story wise, how are we going to Midfont?
Well, I think it's because basically our forces are currently marshaling in 12, and then once we're done with Mythfont, we can go there and lead them ourselves.
Okay.
Is what I'm thinking.
Your forces marshaling and moving under the orders of your subordinates. You don't necessarily need to be there for that, right? But when they are ready to move on Lord Weston's forces in 54, like, you can use the teleportation circles in the city to get to where they are and actually lead the charge. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, that's why I was asking what I was asking earlier, is because a small group of people moving through the city moves a lot faster than a large military unit of like 700 troops moving through the city.
What?
And
But what if one of us is an urchin?
Yes, if one of you is an urchin, all 700 people move at twice the speed.
well, I'm not trying to think of how exactly we're going to deal with that confrontation then, because Gaz's hope would be like we don't come to blows with Weston's forces. We just make it clear we are after him. He considers the rest of you expendable. We've seen it personally.
Right. Well, I know that would be your approach. I guess
Your preacher doesn't think it's going to work, though. But
your approach.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Speak softly, carry a big stick.
I mean, that's what Gaz does. It's a sword, but same difference. Okay.
So on to Mythfont?
Yes.
Oh, and we should probably also investigate Click and Clack as well, because the more information we have to confront with Weston later on, the better. And I'm pretty sure an extrajudicial killing of that sort might not fly under Grover's laws.
Well, didn't we already learn the duel system? He can just say they challenged him to a duel.
Except they're not nobles, so they can't.
Right, so then he can just kill them.
He could challenge them to a duel, and they would have to find someone to fight in their stead because they have no legal authority to do so.
Yeah.
That's how some knights make a little extra on the side.
Well, that's why I figured investigate the circumstances so that we have more ammo to bring to bear. Even if only at the trial.
What Sparks was going to ask Broker was to look for.
Are we considered knights now? That's a good question.
You are.
Yes, we are.
Yes, you are considered knights of the city.
so
You are
magic,
Sir.
weapons,
You are
all
Sir
the time.
Trix. Well, you're Captain Trix. You're Sir. Full name here.
God damn it, Adam.
Oh God.
So onward to Mythfont?
Yep.
Yes. To Mythfont.
This should prove interesting.
Yeah.
And thinking we should bring along Agranak.
Fair.
Since, yeah, Broker would be leading the assembly of forces.
Okay. Okay, so you have Silver and Rox standing guard at the Citadel. You have Broker leading the forces across Grovair, and the four of you and Agranac are headed down into the depths of the Citadel and across the city through the teleportation circle, arriving at the doorway that enters into Mythfont. Moving into the place, you find what you had discovered the last time. Passing through the strange arch, you enter into a entryway, a gated room. The room is about 30 by 30. In the center is a small dais that has the identical doorway on it. Around the dais is a thin, transparent ring of water. Standing behind the doorway that you came through is a large statue of the god Vidian, hooded, with his hand upon the doorway that you had entered through, and his other hand holding a crescent-mooned sphere.
Is the current phase of the moon the crescent?
No. The
Real quick, did Agranac go up a level when we did? Or is he still level 5?
He's still level 5.
Okay.
Yeah. There are 2 doors in this room, each bearing 3. Oh, I'm sorry, not 3. In a ring, there are 4 phases of the moon on the door. The crescent moon is the most prominent phase in these carvings on each of the doors in front of you.
And it is not currently a crescent moon, obviously.
No, it was not currently a crescent moon. The last time, it would not be a crescent moon according to the lunar calendar. Either of the moons. But you see again. You see what I said. So I can describe anything you need from the room.
Are there any other ways out of the room, or is it just this one room and these doorways that sync up with the lunar calendar? Well, lunar cycles.
There are just those 2 doors. One to your, when you step out of the portal, there is one that heads south and one that heads west. The other 2 walls are blank.
And both with the same deity?
The deity is standing above the portal that you entered through.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But each door has like the lunar cycle carved upon the door, with the crescent being the most prominent. And the crescent moon is the same one that the statue is holding.
Do we really think Merwin would have designed this place that it could only be opened during a specific phase of the moon?
Well, he designed it to begin with, so why not add a wrinkle? But actually, can I do a? What do we know about the deity that's above the door we came through?
Vidian is the god of knowledge and is associated with the cosmos. His holy symbol is an eye with a moon and 3 stars in the pupil of the eye. He is associated with high elves and is one of the children of Orad. That's the general gist of who Vidian is. He's the god of like libraries and learning and universities
Knowledge.
and education and knowledge and arcane lore.
So specifically, he could be considered like a patron deity of like of arcane casters.
He could be, yes. Very much so.
I'm assuming neither door is open.
The doors are closed. But they will open. You can open either door upon trying. They're not locked.
So which one first, west or south?
Well, we're about to deal with Weston, so why not west?
Good enough as any reason.
Yes.
So heading west.
Okay.
Oh, and do we want to do the blink?
Oh,
You can do
Yeah.
that on Agranak, actually. I think I'll be okay, and then I can also use my reaction for something else then.
all right. Preacher will put that up on Agranak, and also before we go any further, I have a 10-minute story to tell you all.
You
Okay. So that's 11 temp hit points for everyone.
yes. You spend 10 minutes giving your inspiring speech. What is the subject of your inspiring speech? You don't necessarily need to give it. Just what are you talking about?
Time in the Legion in the desert when we faced a completely unknown situation that we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into, and managed to get through it surprisingly without any problems whatsoever. Hoping that this will be the same here.
While he's doing that, I would like to be paranoid. And I'm going to busy myself casting alarm around the way that we came in.
Okay.
I'd love to know if there's anybody else who's wandering about in here.
Makes sense.
Not a bad idea. Although, what if the other person wandering around here is Merwin himself? Hi, buddy. Don't mind us. We're just passing through.
We found your staff, just wanted to give it back.
We didn't come here to loot anything. You came here to loot things.
Oh yes. Of
Citadel
course.
is not a lost and found.
As you move through the western door, you find a kind of long, narrow room. There is a door straight across the room from where you are. That door has the same pattern of symbols upon it as the one that you just walked through, with the crescent being the most prominent of them. The room
Okay.
The room extends to the south, and in the room are 7 suits of gleaming plate mail.
Figure, examine the plate mail then. Don't touch, though, at the moment.
Give me an investigation roll.
Oh boy. Any chance I could... I just got trained in Smith's tools, so I wasn't sure whether that might come into play at all.
Sure. You can use Smith's tools instead. That's fine.
I don't actually have that as a roll, so I guess just... It'd be intelligence, I'm assuming?
Yeah, intelligence plus proficiency.
Okay, so... I'll just roll a religion check and that'll count for it, because that has that has everything factored in.
Yep, that's fine.
Ew.
I
Um,
thought you got rid of all those beforehand.
I got rid of some.
well, this is plate mail. It is untouched by time.
And it's animating and about to attack.
There's not even an accumulation of dust upon it. Upon any of these suits of plate mail.
Well, dust is a totally human byproduct. So, of course, there's no people here.
Well, could be rats and the like.
I know the answer to this is just yes across the board, but do I see anything with Eldritch Sight?
Adam, roll Constitution to avoid being blinded.
Eldritch Sight lets you see what?
If things have an aura of magic about them.
Oh, then the answer is yes across the board.
Yeah, as I assumed.
So each suit of plate mail, or like
And
the
the-
entire room?
Each suit of plate mail and the doors.
Don't suppose there's any inscriptions nearby.
The suits of plate mail have each has a shield, and the shield each has a crest of one of the 7 legions.
Commander,
I'll touch the sword of the Phoenix Legion to the matching armor then.
Okay.
Like while in its sheath.
Sure.
Half the armor.
There's no immediate effect upon. Thanks for the follow. Your boy Mr. Bean just followed us. Thanks, man. I love the username, by the way. It's fantastic. You approach the armor with the shield emblazoned with the crest of the Phoenix Legion, and there's no reaction or effect that occurs when you do so.
I'll try touching like the flat of the blade then.
How?
Like to the...
Are you gonna knight it?
Well, no, like take it out of the sheath and then tap like the flat of the blade while still largely sheathed.
Okay. When you draw the sword, all 7 armors draw a sword from a sheath. and shift to an attack position.
I will resheath the sword.
Upon doing so, they all return to a relaxed, at ease stance.
Yeah, I don't think that's the answer, Commander.
I'll try picking up the shield.
Like taking the shield off of the armor itself.
Right.
Okay, if I see that he's doing that after watching the armors move, I'm going to stealth. Just
The room
Smart call.
is completely lit. There's no nooks or crannies, so you would literally have to move back into the room you came from in order to hide.
And that door might shut automatically, so...
okay. So then I will go behind Agronak.
Good call. Actually, before I lift the shield, could someone else draw their weapon real quick?
I'll just grab my mace and hold it up in my hand in like a ready stance.
After a few moments of that, it becomes obvious if anyone draws a blade or weapon of any kind, the statues prepare for battle.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was responding just to the sword or to any weapon, so that's good to know. And at that point, I would lift the shield from the armor.
Or try to, at least.
Yeah. And maybe... Actually, I might also announce, before doing so, that I am Commander Gaz of the Phoenix Legion, one of the only known legion left standing.
It's fine.
As you say that, the armor bearing the shield kneels in front of you.
I'll say, order him to open the door.
Please open the door.
The
to the
armor
next room.
The armor continues to kneel.
I'll put a hand on his shoulder. I would be grateful to accept your service.
The armor continues to kneel.
Is it like in a knighting position?
It is.
I'll try knighting it then.
Are you drawing the blade from your sheath to knight it?
I'll keep it in the sheath at first. See whether that works.
Keeping it in the sheath does not do anything. But if your next step is to draw the blade and attempt to knight it, when you draw the blade this time, having announced yourself, the other armors in the room do not react. And upon knighting the armor in front of you, it stands at the ready, stepping down off of the platform that the armor is on.
Please open the door. And gesturing to the next door in.
It nods and approaches the next door. And as it does so, a handle on the door becomes suddenly visible, which the knight grabs and pulls open for you.
Merwin must have been a paranoid madman.
I'm just curious as to how...
Oh, he very much trusted the legions.
This is curiouser and curiouser, really.
But no, consider already the layers of secrecy, of
Redundancy.
yeah, of just all the things that we've had to do in order to even get this far. Either he was a paranoid madman, or he tailored everything here specifically for us.
Or the legions in general. I'm just glad that worked. I'll turn to the armor and ask whether it will be accompanying us throughout.
It the armor simply stands at the door when you ask that. Gives no indication.
Anyone able to figure out if this armor is magic because of the enchantment that allows it movement, or magic because of some property of the armor itself?
Can Sparks assume after watching all of this that we're dealing with a golem?
Give me
It's-
a... What's that?
I was gonna say, is that enough to know if it's transmutation or if it's enchantment on the armor?
No, I'm gonna say it's not enough to know that.
Okay.
If you were using detect magic, does...
That I am using detect magic. That's
then
what
you
I-
don't even need to roll for that. Then it would tell you can focus in on the armor, and you would know that it's enchantment.
Yeah, that's what Eldritch Sight is. It's just detect magic at will.
Okay. Then yes, it is. It is enchantment.
This is just a spell to make it move. In certain instances, it's not sentient.
And Sparks, your first instinct might be to assume that it was a golem of some kind, or some kind of construct because of your artificer background. But clearly, that is not precisely what it is.
Sparks is disappointed then.
Out of game, living armor.
Out
of character, living armor, Mark.
Maybe.
We
Gaz,
haven't figured out in character.
when you knighted the statue, you could feel the blade get warm in your hand, like the pommel, like very warm. How would I... If you had a poker sitting in a fire, and then grabbed it with a gloved hand, not the actual like
hot end,
but if you grabbed the metal of the poker at the end that was out of the fire with a gloved hand, it's that warm. You know what I mean? As if it's been sitting in fire. You know.
Funny enough, I've actually pulled metal out of a furnace before, like an actual, or rather, a forge.
Nice.
Tongs, but yeah. So
Man, I want to do that. That sounds like...
I'll try turning the blade on then, like the light portion, see whether anything might have changed.
Sure. When you call forth the beacon to shed light, the blade is actually wreathed in flame this time.
Well, that's unexpected.
And gives off much more light.
And I would douse the flame unless we need the light.
Yeah. Congratulations, the Sword of the Legion now has the same properties as a flame tongue longsword.
I'll have to look that up, but anyway.
It has a great sword of fire attached to it now. Like it does 2d6 fire damage on a hit, I think.
Yes, in addition to the normal weapon damage, it does an additional 2d6 fire damage.
Damn.
When activated.
You mean 1d8? That's for the longsword.
It's 1d8 plus 2d6 fire. Now, you need to use a bonus action to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you need to use a bonus action to make it flaming.
And bonus action to make it no longer flame.
Congratulations, Commander.
Yeah. So it does the normal damage of a longsword plus 2d6 extra fire damage.
All right,
That's new.
let's move.
Agronach's probably in a bit of awe.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Sure.
Although, yeah, I wonder what will happen if we get any more Legion swords in the air.
There was something in that moment of declaring yourself the commander of the Phoenix Legion, the last of the legions, and knighting. It wasn't the knighting of the armor that activated the flames within the blade. But there was something about the act of knighting and the taking the authority of doing so that ignited the flames within the blade. It was the choice that you made, Gaz, to do so that ignited it. It wasn't anything to do with the armor itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your connection with the sword strengthened in that moment.
Just think it's neat.
Wow, we're getting all the ones out now. Early, yikes!
I'm assuming I am now attuned to the sword.
You are attuned to the sword, yes. I think you've had it on your person long enough to be attuned to it.
Let's just make sure this is right.
I think it's more that it requires attunement now, correct?
It does, yes.
Yeah.
The 2d6, I'm not sure if that got added in or not.
For the damage?
Actually, maybe?
If you rolled a 4, I think it... No. Is your strength a 4?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how to add that in. Questions for later.
Questions for later. As of right now, you can just write \2d6.
Alrighty. So moving into the next room, it seems.
Did you roll that through D&D Beyond?
Through Foundry.
Through Foundry.
Yeah, unlike everyone else here, he actually has his character on Foundry.
Ah.
Well, I may have found a way to make that easier if we want to get the characters into Foundry. Hey, that looked right.
Okay.
That's hideous. That's not even smiting.
And he rolled a 1 on one of the D6s, by the way.
Actually, yeah, that's going to be really interesting for a smite.
Oh, God.
So many D6s. All the D6.
Smite, I think, is D8.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It is D8s, yes.
It is. Okay.
It's what you thought, but worse.
Alright. Next room.
Yep.
You move into a similarly structured room. There is a door. There's a door across the room in the southwest corner, continuing westward. It is another kind of long room, like 20 by 40 shaped room. In this room, there are several tapestries that are hanging. The tapestries depict several scenes that are somewhat frightening. There is a scene of Merwin, his back to you, along with a group of various shaped, cloaked, heroic-looking figures standing over a large, red glowing rift in the earth. The rest of the tapestries depict a descent into a place of darkness and fire, brimstone and sulfur, battles with fiendish creatures, some of which you have seen before recently in the Citadel. Not depicted as particular ones, but the same types of creatures.
Nature.
Yes.
Knowledge history to see if that matches up with anything in the historical record with Merwin's activities.
There is a story about several hundred years ago, several centuries. Forget exactly how many. I'd have to look at my timeline. Where there was a rift in there was some kind of rift into the Nine Hells that had opened in Oridon, and devilish forces had begun to create all kinds of problems for the Empire on a large scale, and Merwin himself descended into the rift to close it from the inside. And these tapestries seem to depict the events of that story.
Huh. Interesting tale.
And it's only the tapestries on the walls?
Only the tapestries. The other door that you come to on the other side of this room has a half moon. I apologize. It has a full moon on it as the most prominent of the moons in the lunar cycle on this door.
Does the door open?
It does. But
Actually, Eldritch Sight.
Anything magical about the tapestries?
I'm going to assume yes, in that they're probably protected in some way, but otherwise, is there anything, Mark?
Yeah. They're essentially indestructible tapestries of gleaming. You know what I mean? Like if that makes sense, it has the properties of...
Yeah.
Always sparkless.
They're magical to not require cleaning.
And the door, actually, the tapestries have a transmutation aura to them.
Well, there might be something more going on to them besides. Why would tapestries need to be infused with transmutation magic?
Hmm.
Could I look behind one of the tapestries?
Yeah. You look behind the tapestry, and it's just bare stone wall behind it. Um, you, those of you observing, as Gaz like pulls the tapestry away from the wall and looks behind it, the end of the tapestry begins to curl up as if to reach around his arm as he's holding it out. When he lets it go and steps back after seeing that it's bare stone, the tapestry stops doing that.
Hmm.
The tapestry just tried to grab you, Commander.
Well, I suppose it is fair. I grabbed it first.
If you didn't have an inspiration point, go ahead and take one.
I already did.
God damn. All right. But there's nothing here barring our way, so I say we just leave it be.
Oh. When you open the door, first of all, the door opens, right? Like, there's a handle on it, you turn it, you start to pull out, and then, as you do so, there's resistance suddenly, and it begins to pull back as if to close. As if something on the other side is grabbing on and pulling it shut.
Who's the individual?
Naihu,
Oh.
that was just for you, Naihu. Just so you know.
Commander?
What's up?
Seems to resist my grip. Maybe you might have better luck.
If it's anything like the previous room, it might require one of the tapestries do it. Tapestries, are you able to hear me? Feeling very silly asking such a question of cloth, but
The tapestries do not respond.
actually, after hearing what they had told me, I would lay my hand on one of the tapestries to see whether it would react.
Yeah, the tapestry well, no, just laying your hand upon it does nothing, actually.
Can you open the door for us?
There is no response from the tapestries.
Well, unless one of you three can figure something out there, I'll try opening the door.
I think that you were
What
like,
about-
maybe it's hard of hearing, so I'll get closer.
Why don't you ask the door to open itself?
To be clear, the door started to open, and then something on the other side seemed to pull it shut. Preacher, it wasn't like the doors, like you turn the handle and you open the door like maybe an inch or so, and then as soon as you do, something forcefully pulls it back closed.
Here's an odd question.
Did you just knock on the door?
Yep.
There is not a response.
Worth a try.
Land shark.
No, that's Candygram.
That's
We are the commander and captains of the Phoenix Legion. Please allow us entry. And try opening the door at that point.
There's something actively like resisting you opening the door. It's a tug of war.
Everyone?
Give me a strength check, an athletics roll, Gaz, to pull the door.
I'm just trying to determine whether I really want to go to that extent or not, but guess so.
Like, are you, like, bracing and pulling it, or are you just trying to get it, like, trying to open it like normal?
I'll try to open it like normal first. We can talk over our options.
Okay. Opening it like normal elicits the effect that I had stated.
Any ideas since the tapestries were a bit of a bust?
Have you and Agranak work together and force it and pull it open at once?
What if once it starts to give resistance, you let go of the door quickly?
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'll do like a half, like full, half. Trying to think how to describe it. Like, obviously make an effort to open it, but not full effort. And then as I'm meeting the resistance, like, I'll try and get the door open some.
Okay.
And once it's open some, I'll quickly let go of the handle, let it hopefully slam shut, and then try opening it again quickly after that.
Okay. What's everyone's, where's everybody's positions at this point?
I'm
In relationship to the door.
probably gonna be like 5 foot back, watching, like ready for shit to go down.
Okay.
I would like to be in a position that I can possibly peer into the door when it's open, but
Okay. But not so close that you're going to, like, put yourself in harm's way?
yeah, I want to be in Eldritch Blast range.
Okay, so somewhere within 120 feet of the door.
Yeah.
Understood. Do you have... You don't have Devil's Sight, right? Do you have Dark Vision?
Yes, I have Dark Vision because of being a Warlock of the Depths, because, oceans be dark.
Yes. Yes, they do. Okay, Sparks, where are you? Behind Agranak.
Okay, so Gaz, Agranak, Sparks, Preacher, and Trix way in the back.
No, well, Trix is off to the side because he wants to be able to see what's on the other side of that door if you pull it open slightly.
And actually, Agranak would probably be to the side of the door, like, so that he's not in Trix's view, but he could also see inside.
Okay.
He's doing what I'm doing, but closer.
Give me...
Pretty much, yeah.
So this time I'll need you to give me a contested athletics check to pull the door more forcefully.
Ooh.
Nice.
You pull against the door, against the resistance of the door, and it opens enough that Trix, what you see are thorny vines that are reaching out and lashed around the handle of this door and trying to pull it shut. The doorway beyond that space is completely filled with briars, as if a thick wall of thorns has grown up on the other side of this door. And then it pulls against you, Gaz, and if you let go, the door will slam shut. But if not, you're pulling the door open against this. It is not strong enough to keep you from doing so with that roll.
Yeah, I'd probably continue since I figure either... Trix, would you relay that to me? That it's not like a sentient being or anything?
It's a plant pulling on the door, but...
Oh, it's
If you're
actually
gonna ask-
pulling.
Yeah, so we don't know whether it's sentient or not, or sapient or not.
No.
So yeah, Gaz would pull it the entire way.
Okay.
But I know that plants are alive. Checkmate vegans. Kidding.
Oh, God. Gaz, you pull, and you begin to hear vines and branches snapping and suddenly the door swings free. You kind of stumble slightly back as the door just kind of suddenly becomes free in much the way you had hoped it would to your assailant on the other side, until you realized it was a wall of plants that were pulling against you. But the door is open, and this thick hedge of briars stands before you.
Well,
Tricks?
Yes.
Anything magical regarding this plant, or
Well, it's doing quite well considering there's no sunlight.
well, I meant the Lord of the Deeps, grant me sight beyond sight.
The plant, the wall of thorns actually, trying to remember. I will tell you, when you look at the wall of thorns, there is kind of this this roiling within it, as if all of the thorny branches are kind of twisting and moving within it, like a thorny meat grinder within this wall. There's also this greenish pollen-esque haze on the inside of this wall as the branches kind of writhe and move within. It gives off that same yellowish haze that you see in high spring when the plants are just spraying pollen all over our cars.
Treegasms. Treegasms everywhere.
I know this is an odd question, but there's no wind in here, right?
No, there's no wind in here.
Okay, well, those plants are moving and there's no wind.
The trying to determine if there would be a magical aura coming off of it, and if so, what school it would be. Hold on. I don't think there is.
I don't ever see or hear of anything like this before. Oh, holy crap.
The only thing I could possibly think that could be even close to this would be some form of druidic magic, but I've never seen anything like it.
Anything from a 21 history check?
You've not heard stories of any kind of plant like this before.
Can we see past the plant at all?
No, your vision is heavily obscured.
Pollinating real hard.
The harder you try to peer into the plant, the more plant you see. Like beyond what you're looking at.
Well,
This briar is thick.
No, I'm gonna take out the Legion sword, get my shield out and ready, and look to the others.
good thing we already have a flaming sword.
Well, that's why I'm looking to everyone else, like, smart idea or dumb idea.
I look back at you and just
Or a
say,
mixed bag.
I don't have a better idea.
Well, Actually, why don't I send a chromatic orb instead of you going there if you want to use flame?
Would that be limited in how far the flame could spread?
At that
Because
point,
I'm hoping
we could just toss a torch in.
yeah. I was gonna see. Actually, my idea is more see whether it responds to the flame's presence first.
Hmm.
Sound like a decent idea, or got Trix's vote already?
Should we try the other door instead of going through these vines? Because there's no guarantee that there's going to be anything besides the vines.
Well, it might be this entire room is filled with vines, and then there's something beyond it. And we can always just see whether it responds to the flame and then come back.
True enough.
So,
Is
bonus action. Go ahead.
I say we give it a shot. I mean, if it doesn't work out, we can't always go back the other way.
All right, bonus action. Turn on the sword.
Okay. The sword comes to life with flame. The thorns do not seem to react to the fire, to the presence of the fire.
Should I touch the flame to them, or should we just go to the other door first?
Hmm.
Hmm.
That depends entirely on how willing you are to start a fire.
I think the other door might be the better call then. Because we don't know what else might be in there.
Yeah, I don't know what's in there, but I know you're definitely going to make a fire if you touch fire to plant.
Well, it also seems to be green plants, so.
Oh, it's very green.
Is pollen flammable?
I think it's usually too damp. So yeah, we'll go back to the entry chamber and try the south door.
Okay.
Are we leaving this door open or closing it?
Closing it because we don't know if the plants can breathe or how fast.
Yeah, I mean we can close it to see if they grab onto it again.
Sure. I'll
Okay.
close it and then try grabbing the handle and pulling lightly.
There does seem to be some resistance, though less than before.
Okay. So yeah, we'll leave it closed and go to the other door first.
Okay. And why don't we, as you head back towards the other set of doors, and or the back to the entrance chamber and to the other door, and we'll take a quick break, and come back in a moment.
Hey,
We are back.
Yee.
Thank you, everyone who is here watching the stream with us today. I have to say, I'm really, really just super happy because, in spite of the fact that October was a very lean month for streams for us, due to some back problems I was having, and then having my teeth extracted and being off for 2 weeks because it was the most painful, god-awful experience of my entire life. We still have the same viewers coming back and watching us. All of you are still here to support us, and I have to say, that's pretty fucking awesome. So I just want to give a shout out to all of you who have joined us since we're back live. And say thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. We're happy to keep bringing you content. And we hope that you enjoy our games and what's going on. It's off to a bit of a slower start. Both Saturday and today were a bit clunky of a start for me. So I want to apologize if that's been the case a little bit. Getting back into the swing of things has been is an interesting experience after all this time off. I'm trying to get the old gears turning. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. I hope all of you playing are having fun as well. I know most of you are just glad to be playing D&D again. So,
You're not kidding there.
You move to the southern half moon door, or crescent moon door. The southern crescent moon door within the... Bookist wants to know if I think I'll get to DMing for tier 3 or 4 characters. It's almost never done. And yes, we are in Grove Air. Well, the Phoenix Legion is in Grove Air all the time. I will say that the Saturday group hit level 10 after last night's adventure. So they're getting there. I have had one campaign of D&D reach level 18. And I'd say that even in higher tiers of play, that campaign was fun. Wouldn't you, Adam?
I had shield as a cantrip. It was great. I trapped a Dracolich in the maze spell.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I will say this: when you get to that level of play, I will just say the final battle that they dealt with was what, 5 liches and a Dracolich? Was that what you thought? Along with a cleric and a bunch of undead and minions. I think that's what it was the final battle between 5 18th level characters, and
that was after my evil paladin had an acolyte snap a staff of power at the party.
Yes. So they had 2 or 3 major encounters before the final battle. But yeah, all in all,
it was silly.
It was silly. Yes. But yeah, I can foresee that these games will go that far. And I've had one experience doing it, and it was pretty fun. Higher tiers of play get weird in D&D. And that's a discussion for another time. We can have that discussion on the general channel. Pat, I don't know if you're still watching. Let's see, are you? Nah. Oh yeah, he's in here. I know you guys are having your little Discord chat going on while you're your little on our Discord server. A bunch of the people on the Discord server like to have a little viewing party now, And they're probably barely paying attention to the actual game at this point because they're shooting the shit so much. But if you really want to know about what people think about getting to higher tiers of play, go ahead and ask in general chat and see what people say. I'm sure there are a bunch of opinionated gamers out there who will tell you exactly how they feel about playing in tier 3 and 4.
I like to think they stop in to watch our crazy antics.
They're watching. They're in here watching. Although Chris isn't. Therion's not watching. He's in there. I know David's in there. Nate is in there. I know a bunch of you are in there in the general chat, and also on here watching. But you probably have us muted. Oh, you did do that this morning. Question of the day. That's right. That's right. Okay, let's get back to the game. You move to the south and open the door. I'm trying to think back. There are things I need. That's right. I do not have some of the details. I actually had to. There we go. Pull up some old notes.
I do remember a couple of the chambers and stuff. I don't remember exactly which one was over there.
Yeah, you're kind of close to some of that and far away from other parts of it. So yeah.
Yeah.
She's talking about the old Friday game where they had explored parts of Mythfont through a different entrance. When you open the door to the south, you find yourself in a large room that has portraits on the walls and pillars with various art objects upon them throughout this large room. On the opposite side of this room is another door with the phases of the moon upon it.
Examine the objects.
I mean, again, if our passage is not being barred, no reason to linger.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we might be able to find something useful or that could give us information.
The objects that you find are from various cultures throughout Oregon. They depict there's like a bust of the first emperor. There's a bronze statue about foot and a half tall of Empress Scalene. There's a there is a elven sword in a case. It's like a short sword in a case on a small pillar. Various items like that throughout the room that perhaps don't have any kind of magical function, but have historical value and monetary value at that, most likely.
Or sentimental value if they're elven.
Or sentimental value. The one of the objects is a pearl in a clamshell that is
Turtle
sitting.
power.
What's that?
Said turtle power because I'm a child.
Got a grin out of me.
Oh God. The portraits on the walls depict various people, again, mixed heritage and culture. Elf, dwarf, tiefling, satyr,
Dragonborn?
I don't. Is there anything that looks remotely draconic?
remotely draconic.
Yeah.
In this room, there's not.
Orcish?
There, there's a portrait of a half orc in here. The portraits are all named, although the names may not be ones that you are familiar with, but they have dates on them as well.
Not
Not
a logbook.
not like a what's that?
Anyone
Just-
have a logbook to jot it down?
Just like a or each portrait has a date associated with it.
What is the oldest state that we can see?
The oldest date.
Like,
Oh,
is there
okay.
anything pre Empire?
Oh yeah.
Or
Oh yeah.
Okay, opposite question then.
Newest date, yeah.
Hold on, I'm
And does that newest date post date this wizard?
no.
Okay.
I think our music has stopped, and I also need to pull up my timeline. Give me
That's
30
okay.
seconds. I shall answer all questions. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
That'll give me time to get boogies out of my cat's eyes.
Oh, lovely.
Well, eye crusts and yeah.
Emmy is demanding that you show the cat on camera immediately. Um. Okay. The oldest date seems to date back about 1,000 years before the Empire, sometime in that range. And the first group of portraits all have the same date on them from that long ago.
Those Merwin is not there, is it?
No, Merwin is not among those portraits. The newest portrait is from let's see. I would say sometime about 100 years from the current date. Sometime in the early 1700s. 17, like 40 or 50.
Mm-hmm.
How old do elves live?
What's that?
About 700, 800 years. Upwards. Rare runs upwards close to 1,000, but never over.
So presumably this one, huh?
Wait, we did see the statue of Merwin, right? In
He's
the
human.
courtyard. He's human.
Oh. Huh.
Sparks, after seeing the dates and thinking about it, what if he's just pretending to be human?
You mean it might be a dragon, for example? We know they can voluntarily shapeshift.
Yes, and it will explain a lot of things. There's something that has been on my mind since we met the Dragonborn. They said that the Emperor of the Draconic Islands, they only have had one emperor. So I am assuming that their emperor is a dragon, pretending to be a dragonborn. So why wouldn't Merwin be a dragon?
Questions for later, I think. We've come across quite a few of those.
Dragons or emperors?
Questions for later.
Oh.
We've come across a handful of one and only one of the other. Or actually, Emperor, we've not come across any.
Yeah.
So onward to the next room.
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
Gaz will open the door.
Music!
Yeah, I don't know why it was doing that.
I've had that happen with Groovy as well. Seems like sometimes it doesn't repeat by default and it just stops.
Yeah. But then it told me it was repeating, and then it didn't.
Yep. Yeah, I've had to just stop the thing that it was playing and just start over.
When you get to the far side of this room, and reach the door, you find the same wall of living thorns on the opposite side of this door as you did the other.
Was there a handle present on the first door prior to the armor attending to it?
No.
I was curious whether maybe the plants were just a routine thing until we figured out how to progress. And it might be that way anyway.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if Merwin had some sort of druidic magic guarding this place. Part of his journal was in Sylvan, was it not?
It was.
Oh. Is there any writing within the room to maybe give a hint?
Not about this.
Well, then again, was there any writing in the room with the armor to give a hint? I don't think there was.
There was not.
No. Merwin, you need to hire a gardener.
I have a feeling he did.
Okay, so I think it's fair to say that we don't want to brute force this. So do any of the various pieces of art hold any significance that we're aware of?
I think I'm thinking if the thorns are here and there's nothing. We have to just clear them. We can't. There isn't any sort of mechanic that would do it for us at this point.
Hey, Mark, did it feel like we kind of went in a circle?
No, you did not go in a circle. You
Nowhere
went to the
close.
west, and then you went to the south. So,
Okay, so there's no way that those two hallways are the same hallway that are overgrown. And if it is, it's real overgrown and real long.
those are correct assumptions, I think.
Okay.
Either these are separate walls, or this is a very, very large plant.
Can I pick up the Elven Blade and examine it?
It's in a locked case. You can attempt to open it if you wish.
Can I pick up the case itself?
Yes.
Is there any Elvish writing on the blade?
There is Elvish writing on the blade. The blade is very well made. It is a simple it doesn't have any magical properties, I'll say that. It is a very well made elven short sword. The blade has writing upon it that speaks of what would it say?
My name is Sting. Please don't give me to a halfling.
No.
Do not break glass.
I was thinking more Glamdring the Foe Hammer.
That's a long sword, not a short sword.
Fair point.
Depends on how
Jacoby
big you
was
are.
here.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm an Elvish blade.
It speaks of the might of Thalriel flowing through the hand of its protectors. The silent watchers and wardens of the Feywood and now the ancient forest. And in a personal inscription, I am honored to count you as one of them finally, brother.
It looks like some sort of ancient stodgy order of elves gave this blade to the wizard who created this place because he helped them. And they counted him amongst their order. But all elven orders are stodgy old ancient orders.
I'll take your word for it.
I think we should take the sword.
For what purpose? It has no magic on it that would benefit the Thorns.
No, it won't help us right now, but remember that there was an attack on the city. And what they said was about Thario. So if another attack happens and we manage to capture and we show the sword, maybe we might be able to talk to these people?
Sparks, do you think you can unlock the case?
Try? Well, Silver is not here, so probably I'll do a little bit better.
Rogue artificers.
Or not.
Rogue
You rolled
artificers that
intelligence.
can't. Yeah, you rolled intelligence instead of thieves' tools. Yeah. Dex plus proficiency.
I think I'm
That was Dex only.
Yeah. So
10.
it's a 10.
Okay. Or not.
This lock is heavy, pretty
Me?
heavy duty.
Well, let's take a look at some of the other objects in here.
Do you have a crowbar?
I do, but I would prefer not to try damaging something that a wizard who was this skilled was able to create. And
Question,
obviously hold some sentimental value to him.
Question for the DM. If
Yes.
I use the crowbar, can I then repair the damage with mending?
Yes.
Then I'll use the crowbar.
Okay.
As we'll stand well away from this attempt.
I will use the crowbar with my mage hand.
I
I don't think it'd be able to
don't
apply
think
enough
you can
force.
apply
Nope.
enough force with mage hand.
Okay, then I'll try it.
Again, I ask, what's
Oh.
the point? Nothing in here has any real value to it.
Well, maybe not to us right now, but we know that there's been attacks in the city had to do with Thariel.
You break it with the crowbar?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, Captain, I can use thieves' tools.
Oh, you can?
Well, I wait till you're already breaking it with the crowbar.
Yeah, we kind of forgot that he picked his own handcuffs.
You break the latch of the case, and when you do, several of the stone floor tiles rise, and hands from beneath them grip the floor, and constructs pull themselves out of the floor These
Go on, explain to them why this is useful.
and I will show you what they look like.
And of course, I already said Gaz was standing well away from this particular mayhem. Captain, I advise you cast that mending quickly.
I'm going to do. I'm taking the sword quickly, casting mending quickly.
I think they have a problem with you taking the sword.
Leave the sword in, cast mending.
Sorry, Sparks, you ain't getting it.
Casting mending.
You place the sword back and you cast mending, but they seem to continue to be moving in your direction.
Gaz will interject.
There. Those. Do you see that? Did it show the players?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Those slabs of stone were previously a floor tile, a seamless floor tile, and they popped up, and the thing pulled itself out from underneath it. So now there are 4 pits in the floor that are about, I'd say roughly 6 feet deep. Actually, it might be more than that. Let me pull one of these tokens onto the board. Okay, so they are a medium-sized creature. So they're about 6-7 foot deep pits in the room full of art objects, and 4 of these constructs are moving to surround you, Sparks.
We run away.
Gaz will move towards where she is and he'll try and verbally accept blame, but I've got a feeling it won't work too well.
You've returned the sword to the case, yes?
Yes.
Did you return the case to the pedestal?
Sorry?
Did you return the case to the pedestal?
I didn't took the case. I broke the case. I took the sword, put the sword back, mend the case. I didn't took the case from anywhere.
Oh, you didn't take the case off the pedestal.
Nope.
Okay.
You were the one who was asking if you were able to move the case.
Yeah. Wasn't sure if you had set it on the floor or something, though.
That's what I had imagined. I apologize. Okay. You return it, and they simply stop. They essentially stop in it after surrounding you in such a way that you cannot move out from amongst them without passing between 2 of them in any one direction. If they have to push past people to get to that position, they would.
Gaz will try moving to where Sparks is first.
That's fine.
To see what they do.
They don't stop you from moving to where Sparks is.
All right.
I'm going to analyze the creatures now. I need to smudge my computer now.
Anyone else?
They're constructs, Sparks. That's for sure.
While Sparks is standing there, I cast Silent Image of her on her.
Ah.
So that if she were to move, she would still be standing there.
Right. There's now 2 translucent, illusory images of you over you, Sparks.
So Gaz will raise his shield up and basically motion that they should use it as a makeshift umbrella from their gaze, essentially. So trying to give Sparks cover to be able to try stealthing underneath.
Yes.
Okay, give me a stealth roll to try and sneak away, Sparks.
Wow.
So you kind of
better
duck,
than the one.
you kind of duck back and down, using both the illusion and Gaz's shield to cover you, while you attempt to slip away. But again, you are essentially in a situation where there are 4 of these, and I don't know if you can see where I am on the map.
Yeah.
And Sparks and Gaz are kind of sharing the same space in the middle here, with the pillar kind of near there.
So
if
let's try.
if you slip, you can try and slip out and under, quietly. Perhaps they will be focused on the illusion long enough that you can kind of try and slip out under them, or slip with Gaz, stepping back.
Yeah, that'd be Gaz's indication was, step as one sort of thing.
Right. Okay. You move out from among these defensive...
Once I'm out of there, I would change my own illusion to look like Broker. I
Okay.
will look like Broker.
Okay.
And I will whisper to Gas, any chance we can dismantle one and send it back to my mom? She will love it.
I don't think that'd be advisable. Especially, I think this also goes to prove that we should probably not try brute forcing any of this.
Okay.
I don't think it will end well.
As the how long does the illusion spell last, Trix?
Well, I can cast it at will.
Oh, you crazy warlocks.
But it lasts for 10 minutes per cast as long as I concentrate on it.
Okay.
I also have to be able to see it, so if we leave this room, it'll be gone in 10 minutes.
Right. Seeing that, as long as the illusion of Sparks is there, they seem to remain focused upon it.
Okay, let's maybe get to the door.
Which one? The one that you came through, or the one with
Yeah, the
green
one
light?
we came through.
Okay.
Yeah,
And-
why don't we send the illusion to where the vines are?
That that's a better suggestion than what I had. I was just gonna say step between two and see what happens.
I don't know how dumb these things are.
That's a good way to test it.
If you move to the door without disturbing... If you move the illusion to the door without disturbing any of the objects, the guardians will watch as you move to the door, and then they will return to their posts and reseal themselves in the floor.
Because I meant this thing is going to teleport.
Ah,
It's not going to move.
Oh,
That's why I
gotcha.
said I don't know how dumb they are.
yeah,
Gotcha.
right, because it's silent image.
Yeah, it's not major image, which can move.
Right.
Well, they're also probably used to dealing with mages anyway.
The long and the short of it is that if you leave the things undisturbed, they will leave you undisturbed.
Oh no, I can move it so that it appears like it's moving. It just can't make noise.
Okay. Well, there you go.
But I have to use my action to do that.
I don't think that's a problem in this situation.
No.
Well, that's good to know.
So you move it towards the door. The things follow the illusion with their gaze until it reaches the door, and then once it does, they return to their holes in the floor.
And by the door, we meant the one with the briar.
Right.
Okay.
And they seem to once their large stone shields are back into place, they seem to seamlessly fit into the pattern of the floor. Impossible to tell the difference between their stone shields and the floor tiles itself.
Okay, so no taking anything that is not ours, apparently.
Sparks
Or at
does a
least not
little
the
bow
wrong-
and then disappears.
Or
What's
at
that?
least not the wrong thing.
Sparks does a little bow and then disappears.
So if we're not going to take anything, why are we here?
Well, it might also be that we took the wrong thing.
I mean, we can try to look at the positive. The commander's sword is more powerful now. That doesn't help any of us but the commander, but it's still helpful.
Should be interesting to see how Weston reacts to something like that.
Oh, I hope by bursting into flames. Or did you mean just seeing it?
Seeing it.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Or more precisely, his crew. But anyway, back to the more pressing matters.
How rare is flame tongue weapons in Oregon? Like, probably count the number in existence on like one hand.
Probably, yeah.
Is this one of those things where uncommon things can be made, but rares are usually found?
The way that magic items in Oregon are, I would think that would be fairly accurate. Like, if you were an artificer in Oregon, like a skilled artificer, skilled enough to make something like a flame tongue weapon, then you are typically in the employ of like a monarch or something like that, because you are paid very, very well for what you do. Or somebody comes and hires you for a very large amount of gold to make a very specific item, and it takes long periods of time and energy to do so. So, you know, they're rare in that regard.
Well, I was thinking more of the fact that this is the, sword of the Phoenix Legion. When is the last time it has been lit up like that? Was our previous commander able to do it?
You can check the Chronicle. I don't know that the previous commander was able to do that.
No, he wasn't.
No.
I don't remember him. No.
But
So, yeah.
That's probably going to be who Preacher and Sparks would have probably been with them the longest, or
yeah.
so I guess that's more a question for them if they ever saw that happen.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
Preacher and Broker, too.
I would
Oh,
say
yeah.
no.
No.
And the commander was the one that came from Grover as the commander, or was it a field promotion?
No, he came from Robert.
Yes.
So, yeah, the Phoenix Legion sword has not been lit up like this for quite some time.
Correct.
So, I guess that solidifies the claim somewhat, oddly.
We can now tell all of Grover that an animated suit of armor recognized your claim.
Well, the sword itself recognized my fittingness for the command, I guess.
Yes.
Sounds haughty as anything saying it like that, but at the same time,
so
the evidence is here.
It's one of those the power was in you the entire time sort of scenarios.
No, I was waiting for a Monty Python joke.
Yeah.
Some watery tot.
No,
sword.
that's my warlock. That's my patron.
Oh my god. So, what is your plan from this point on?
Well, it's not to loot anything in that room.
Okay,
We're trying
so
to-
what are we going to do with if we want to go either way? We need to deal with the plants.
I'm thinking maybe go back to the tapestries simply because there's fewer of them to deal with, and we might be able to figure something out there.
I don't think I don't think the vines are some sort of thing we have to bypass. I think there's something we have to fight.
Okay, there's fewer things to be damaged there then, in the ensuing fight.
Yes. If you'd like, Commander, I can. If you'd like to burn them, I can make sure that the smoke doesn't suffocate us.
That would be for the best, yes. So do we just want to toss a torch in there and see what happens, or...
I think it's going to have to be a sword if I use Gust of Wind. A torch would go out.
Okay, that'll work. Especially
And
since the sword...
and Gust of Wind was my plan to not suffocate us.
I figured as much.
Excuse me. Okay.
I would have assumed Lord Weston would make a joke about that particular gust of wind.
Oh god. Every chance he gets, Gaz likes to put a dig into Lord Weston.
I think that's all of us.
In Gaz's defense, he's a murderer.
That's true.
And that was literally his first joke in our conversation.
Yes, it was.
Ha ha! That's funny. Ha ha! I'm a ponce.
You're right, Emmy. He is trash. Lord Weston is the worst of the nobles who wants to do nothing more than like rule over all of Grovair. I'm sure.
I think that it's funny that the Legion's two least favorites are the ones who are not doing well. We had him where he's like, haha, sexism and farts are funny, and then the other one was like, my god said I should kill these people.
Yes, those are the ones.
Well, to be fair, part of it is because of their actions that they're not well liked by the other council members, so
Yeah.
it works out. So heading back to the tapestry room to try slashing the vines, or briars.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you start lighting them, I can just Gust of Wind, and then wind direction should take its course.
Well, let's try it and see what occurs. Everyone else, I think, should probably stand back. I'll be the closest to the doorway, and Trix can do the gust of wind from a fair bit away.
Okay.
I can.
So yeah, that I think will be the best setup.
Well, it says that it does extinguish unprotected flame, but I don't know how wildfires count for that. So I might wait till you've got it lit a little bit before I Gust of Wind it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'll do a few hacks on the briars, provided, what they do in response, because I'm sure they will do something in response. So shield up and one-handing the sword. In position.
So I will ready an action mark, and my action is I'm going to ready the spell Lightning Bolt if the vines attack Gaz. Otherwise, I'm waiting, and then I'll just Gust of Wind normally.
So to attack the vines.
Okay. All right. You strike the vines. Go ahead and roll your damage as you strike into the doorway. Your blade cuts into into the vines, and they begin to light a flame, burning through pieces of it. But there's still a thick hedge of thorns directly in front of you.
And it's not lashing out at me in retaliation?
It is not lashing out at you in retaliation. No. You begin to carve another swath of flame into it with your second blow. Opening up a small space in the midst of it as the fires begin to kind of engulf it. Unless you roll like the second one, like you plunge your blade in, but it hits practically nothing in the process. But yeah, so far you've that's damage. That's not a strike.
Yeah.
The 27 definitely hits. You burn away enough. You burn away and slash away enough of the wall at this point that you can take a step forward. But there is still that pollenish haze in the in this doorway.
So are there not briars on the floor beyond the door?
There are.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you've cleared out like a 5-foot space, right? As you've been hacking into it.
And one more for good measure.
When you step into that...
not stepping in, just kind of... Yeah.
Okay, you clear a 5-foot space, but there's still that, like, pollenish haze in the area where these broken and burned, kind of brittle remnants of this thorn wall have kind of piled into this 5-foot space. You can step onto this area.
Gust of wind. Try and clear the pollen.
Good call.
Yeah, I was going to say, Commander, you probably don't want to breathe that.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So go ahead with the gust of wind, unless I should do one more strike.
Is Gust of Wind a leveled spell?
No. It is always second level. There's no on level up sort of thing.
Okay, it is a second level spell.
Yeah.
All right. So I will tell you this. How much area does Gust of Wind? Can you put the spell up? Let me actually look at the spell.
Does that do it? Yeah, it did it.
So
Okay.
I guess I would step out of the way so that he could do that.
Okay.
That'd be just the time to crit fail.
All right. Over the course of quite a bit of time, you can hack your way through this wall of vines and use Gust of Wind to clear the pollen for a little while, because it's a 60-foot long, 10-foot wide blast. So you can like really blast the pollen out from among the thorns itself. And your gust lasts for a whole minute, right? So you can clear that out pretty well.
I can aim it upward if he wants to get in there and start chopping as well.
Right.
Yeah, that'd work.
Okay.
Yeah, step in, chop, step out, blast, step in, chop.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let's see. Oh, yeah. What is the DC on that, actually?
The saving DC, it's my spell save, so it's a 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure Gaz can resist that.
As long as I roll an 8 or higher.
This process of cutting through like this takes you an exhausting while. You slash your way through
Is there anything in the room aside from the brambles?
No. Or I should say you can't tell. Because the brambles, like, you are cutting a tunnel through these brambles after
Gotcha.
a while. Okay.
I think, honestly, once we got like 5 feet in and it was still like that, I would probably advocate that we just pull back into the other room. But I think that it is something magical at work there in terms of the briar growth. And that maybe each room is like that until something in the previous room gets resolved.
I think you need...
An herbicide?
What do you know? What do you know about the wards and about Mythfont?
Well, they definitely recognize the Legion.
Will I know anything? Like,
Service or like
What's that?
service above self sort of ideals.
You have... Sparks, you can give me a history check if to see what you know about Mythfont. That's fine. Not much, apparently.
Do you want me to make that roll too, or just Sparks being the arcane caster among us?
I will...
Can I do it with Arcana instead of History?
It would definitely be a history check.
History.
And Preacher, you can make a history check as well. That's fine. I will say this, Gaz, being that you said two things, being that you said that there would be some concern to do with the legions, right?
Yeah.
I made reference to it before in your questions about the sword. You could check the Chronicle, considering that this thing is in Grovair. Or at least the doorway to this place was in Grovair.
The Chronicle being where? Sorry.
The Chronicle of the Legion. I don't know that you chose a Chronicler when you picked the classes, or the various jobs.
Being held by Paige.
Yeah.
Paige probably has the Chronicle.
Okay, so we can check in with Paige then. Wouldn't take us too long to get back to the Citadel. Actually, we might want to have him come along with us because I'm sure this is something he would love to detail.
But you've hit a literal wall of thorns. Yeah. Rooms of thorns. Yeah.
What was the name of the demon we fought below the Citadel? The higher...
The Horned Devil.
The Horned Devil?
Yeah, did they ever introduce, or did it ever give a name?
I don't remember. I have to look at my notes.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Generally, they don't do that because that lets you...
Oh yeah, fair point. Yeah. Actually, we could check the throne down there, see whether maybe a name is carved into that. Because
God,
presumably that
was that.
I think August? Maybe before then? I do remember the trick with the gust of wind we pulled then, where I deliberately failed my saving throw in order to, shield bash one and go into the face of the next one.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Adam and John, have you been playing with us for like 2 months now? More?
At least, I think.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I think I started like shortly. What was it, like maybe 2 weeks after Adam did? 3 weeks?
No, I did not give you a name of the devil.
Makes sense. Okay. On a whim, can we find a horned devil in one of those tapestries?
Oh yeah.
Gaz would point to one, like, on the tapestry itself, like, actually put his finger on it, and say, we defeated one of these below the Citadel that a cult within the city of Grover was attempting to summon. And see whether that has any effect at all.
No.
Worth a shot.
I'll
I mean, do the tapestries appear to be in a chronological order?
they do.
Or
Yeah,
okay.
they seem to tell a story.
And it's the story of his descent into the rift to seal it.
Correct. There's... How do I give you...
Could Gaz do a religion check, maybe?
Like, yeah, or
Yeah,
would
I'm-
it be
I'm
perception check to
I'm
see
thinking
if
about the necessary information that you
Yeah.
have to have. So give me a second to think.
Well, wait. Hold on. I'm going to roll perception because, given the nature of the content of what's on the tapestries, is there anything that appears to be out of place, somewhat like something that should not be there? So many sevens being rolled.
Much perception. Am I perceptive? No.
I'm untrained, so I'm not even bothering.
One thing you
I just-
notice, I will tell you there's something you notice. There's a very specific number of companions with Merwin in the first tapestry. In the last tapestry, there is also a purple tiefling among the companions that is not in the first tapestry.
So how many companions in the first?
You make the friend.
5?
So is that Merwin plus 5 others, or 5 including Merwin?
Merwin plus 5 others.
So the last one is Merwin plus 6, then, including the tiefling?
Correct.
Okay, which tapestry has the first tiefling in it?
None of the tapestries, other than the last one where they have escaped the rift and the rift is closed and the companions are standing over the space that the rift used to be in, has the tiefling in it. Only the last one does.
So is it time to go back and... is it time to go back and get Paige and Silver? Although then who would hold down the... Oh yeah, Rook can hold down the fort.
Is how do they show that? Because if they close it the rift from the inside, is there a showing of how they escape then to?
There's kind of a tapestry that shows them like running, and like the it looks as though like things are falling and breaking and like closing in around them, and then it
Silver forced the portal, ran out before the portal fully closed.
correct.
Okay.
That's the indication. It doesn't show how they closed the portal particularly. It just shows like battles with devils and it shows them descending. It shows them at the portal. It shows them descending. It shows a battle with demons, and then it shows them. Then it skips to them rushing out of the place, and they are. It's more like Merwin rushing out, and the companions kind of blend into the darkness of the place. He's like the brightest thing, and then the last tapestry is them standing in the same spot where the rift was, but there is an extra companion there.
Now, is there? Does he or the companions have the swords of the Legion or any magical object or anything in their hands?
They don't. They are okay. As an out of game aside, I hope to run that campaign in the future. So those companions are characters that have not been made yet.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Aside
okay,
from the
no.
tiefling, presumably.
Well, I was wondering if any of them have any of the swords or if they have the orb or something like that.
Sure. They're not indicated. There's nothing of that kind of indication on the portrait. I'll say it that way.
Okay.
You know what? I'll touch I'll reach out and put my finger on the tiefling in the tapestry. Do any of us happen to know that tiefling's name? Or a chronicle of Merwin's companions, so to speak.
Give me an insight check.
Wait.
Give me a what?
The room with the portraits.
Give me a what?
No, don't wait, Gaz. Don't worry about it, Gaz.
Okay. So yeah, we can go back to the room with the portraits. Cross-referencing. At least we don't have to go all the way to the Library of Grover.
Returning to the room with the portraits. There are... Again, this is a 40 by 40 room. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there is a... there are a lot of portraits in this room.
Purple skin tiefling.
There is one amongst the earliest dated portraits from over 2,000 years prior.
And its name?
Is Des.
Des.
Male or female, incidentally?
Female.
Female.
Okay.
Alright. Now, is there a matching item in the portrait?
Well, she had no item in the tapestry. It was just her.
But is there a corresponding item in the room that says that is matched up to her?
Or might be indicative of her, yeah.
Yeah. Like something that has maybe inscribed with her name or something she's holding in the portrait or anything like that.
Yeah. In the portrait, she's holding a large gold coin in one hand. That has a crude symbol of Robin Two Tails.
And do we find
there is that same coin in one of the cases on one of the pedestals?
Trix, do you want to try opening the case? We know what, well, we know at least what will happen if it doesn't go well.
Sure, I can try opening the case. One moment.
Plus, he now has Misty Step, so...
Let's all just stand back from this one.
Gaz will stay nearby.
Actually, I would love nothing more than to give Sparks another shot at opening this, but ask that perhaps she look like the tiefling who that coin belonged to before doing it.
That's not a bad suggestion, actually.
Question: how tall did she look? Because I know it's.
You might not be able to tell from the tapestry.
I
or
mean,
the
yeah,
painting.
you're trying to judge off a tapestry, right?
Right. Okay, well, I'll try to be this. Let's see. Wow.
That's an intelligence roll. That's not a sleight of. That's not a.
A sleight of hand?
Yeah, I need dexterity plus proficiency. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's that? A 12? It would be a.
Forget it. No. I'm terrible. Yeah. I'm so terrible.
She can't pick the lock. Though there doesn't seem to be any kind of reaction.
So, Trix, you pick the lock and she opens the case, maybe?
Oh, I can try that.
Try again. There we go.
You guys spend about
In a couple of minutes.
15 minutes trying to get this thing open. And
Nick.
finally pick the lock. And Sparks, in your illusory form, you reach in and take this coin. And I don't know what that sound is, but every once in a while there's like this strange tapping sound. The defenders do not come out of the floor when you take it.
That person was allowed to take their coin back, or
This was
That
the
might
one
just be the
object
right-
in this room that we were meant to take.
I have a feeling that's the case. So maybe go back. I'm assuming. Actually, yeah, we never opened the door in here, did we?
Yeah, we did more vines.
Yeah, there were more
Okay.
vines.
So try and open the door again? Or did we leave it open?
I don't know. You didn't say.
We'll open the door in here again, see if the vines are still there.
They are. I will tell you that
Back to the tapestry.
the let me reiterate something that you've seen. When you reached the room with the tapestries, the door there had the same iconography of the various phases of the moon.
With a half.
But
full
a full moon was the most prominent of them.
Yes.
How large were those imprints?
They sit in a circular pattern on the center of the door, and there are always 4. There's a full moon, half moon, a crescent moon, and a new moon. Okay? In that circle. They are each about the size of like a silver dollar. They're each about the size of a silver dollar, with the most prominent one being about twice as large.
Okay, let's maybe try and I'm assuming the same as in this room, with the full moon
Yes.
being the most...
The other...
Okay.
You came through the portal, and the 2 doors in that room had the crescent moon being the most prominent icons on those doors. And the statue over the portal that you came through was holding a crescent moon. And now you've come to a door with a full moon being the most imperative icon.
And what does the coin look like again?
The coin has the holy symbol of the trickster god.
And what's that holy symbol look like?
It looks like it looks like a dagger with two blades that are entwined. But this one has two daggers that have their blades entwined with one another. It's like maybe an older iteration of that holy symbol.
Maybe keep the coin, but go back to the room that it was in and try proceeding that way, because that door had the crescent moon on it, if I'm correct.
No, both have a full moon right now.
You have one with a full moon in this room. The one that leads to the vines has a full moon.
So maybe press the coin on the full moon?
That does not have an effect. God.
So close yet so far, I'm guessing.
There's information that I feel like you probably would have that, like, there's this fine line of like how to give you guys information, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to work that out in my head as to whether or not what information you would have and what information you wouldn't.
But no, were any of the doors that were blocked by vines the crescent, or were they both fulls?
One was a crescent, okay?
That's good.
Okay.
Okay. The one in the room with the portraits was a crescent moon.
That's good for that one.
Okay. Let's see. Because I don't want you to get bottlenecked by something.
Yeah. But you also don't want to just hand it to us.
Correct. What is everybody's passive history?
+2 for Gaz.
Because it's not information that's necessarily going to, like...
+5 for me.
+5.
+2.
0!
Was Broker the one that had that
Yep.
had the high history?
Yes.
Yes, and the one he didn't change.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we might have left a sending stone with him because we'd be adjacent to the Citadel.
Or I can just cast the sending spell.
Yeah, we could do that. And use his, I'm assuming, like +8, +10.
He would also have access to Page if you wanted him to search the Chronicle for information.
Well, actually, I don't think he would. Page would be at the Citadel, so we'd have to pop back to the Citadel,
You're
which we
correct.
could do pretty
That's
quickly.
right. Because Broker is moving with the Legion through the city.
Actually, in that case, we might want to bring Page along because he would absolutely be handy here with having to figure something out.
I think the right way to hand you the information that I need to hand you is that there is nothing, you are not finding any information about these vines anywhere, and in every room that you've been through, there have been clues as to how to move to the next place. But now you're finding vines in each of these doors, and you've found nothing that indicates anything about vines anywhere in the rooms you've been in, and you've crossed through them multiple times. And so I think that is the best way I can tell you that.
In which phase of the moon are we right now?
Which room are you currently standing in?
The phase of the moon.
Phase of the moon.
For in the
Like-
game
In Grover, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I will pull that up. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. It is the 28th of Hexen for you, which means that it is one of the moons, Vidrin, is at half. And the second moon is waxing. So,
What's the name of the
Don't
second
tell
moon?
me, let me guess. The corresponding
Calda.
paths and doors we open through, the vines will clear on the appropriate phase of at least one of the moon.
That doesn't quite add up though, because otherwise, how would we have gotten to those rooms when it wasn't the right phase starting? If you get what I mean, like
it is neither of the moons are either full or crescent. Okay, or the crescent that you need. One of the moons is almost new, and the other moon is half.
So what I'm thinking is we should probably go back and actually bring Paige along with us, because honestly, this sort of thing would be absolutely like, oh my god, I want to record everything.
Makes sense.
This place has everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Plus, we can ask. Yeah, I'm curious to know when the last time the Sword of the Legion was lit up like this. I'm sure it's within the Chronicle.
All right. Works for me.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good plan.
So heading back and retrieving Paige.
Okay. You head back to the Citadel. It does not take very long because you teleport twice and then walk down that very, very long hallway and climb up the many flights. Or a couple of... Actually, you're only on the second sub-basement, so...
First sub-basement.
Yeah. So you climb up...
First basement.
Out into the Citadel itself. When you come out, at this point, what refugees had family have gone. What refugees have decided not to stay with the Legion have made their way into the world for themselves. And those that chose to remain with the Legion are now a part of it. And so the Citadel looks far less like a refugee camp and much more like parade grounds. Men drilling, the sounds of a military camp coming through. You can hear the sounds of people working up on the parapets, reinstalling the cannons and trying to determine their function.
Preacher observes all this with kind of a little bit of a small self-satisfied grin, like starting to feel like home.
Captain Card and his men have still remained, but he has instructed his men to help with whatever work might be needed. In order to keep them from getting too rowdy, as a pirate crew maybe want to do.
And actually, we did forget about that during the intervening week. We wanted to look for his. It was
Yes.
yeah.
Do
It was-
we do I do investigation?
It was the item being used for the navigation.
Yes.
Yes, you wanted to look for that.
Rucker would have remembered it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have. Well, Trix is. With Trix, you're gonna be the one that's gonna have to look for it.
Yeah, he'd be the point man on this one.
And I did promise Card a ship, even if the captain doesn't know that. Even if the commander doesn't know that.
You mean the current captain?
But I will tell you that your sea creature friends have combed the bay to no avail.
That's not good.
And so Card has accepted your hospitality in the time being, but Topaz has been fretting about the fact that the object is nowhere to be found.
I will go and talk to Topaz and ask him about where did he get it.
You head to Topaz. Topaz has been given a place of kind of I guess honor among them. He's given a bunk that has been decorated with things that the Card's crew have like brought along to make it feel more like the room he had aboard Card's ship. Most prominently is the small table they've put next to the bed that has his deck of his own deck of Three Dragon Ante sitting on it. But his face is pensive when you arrive. He's sitting with his head back, and you can tell that even though his stare is blank and his eyes are cataract, that he is in a state of meditation.
Will be like, hi, are you busy?
He smiles without really breaking his gaze away from the direction he's kind of not staring into.
We haven't talked much. I'm Sparks. I
am pleased to meet you, finally.
Yes, I'm shy.
As I have been told.
Yes. She will. Here's the thing. Sparks will try to be as friendly as possible, but stay as far away as possible from him without being rude. Because she knows that this will not fool him.
No.
So she's like, okay. So, well, we tried to find your box of teletransportation, dimension transportation. What do you call it?
It is the navigator.
Navigator, yes. And unfortunately, we were not able to find it, which
It was taken.
Yes, and I think that the whole blowing up the ships was to take that away from you guys.
Hmm.
I have never seen anything like that, and my mom is an artificer, and she has these crazy ideas that she can make into action and stuff. And I never imagined something like that, and I never saw anything like that in her books. Where did where did you get it?
It is an artifact left over from the time before time.
You mean before the cataclysm?
That is what I mean.
Did you find it, or was it given to you?
Does it necessarily need to be one or the other?
Well, if it was before the cataclysm, that means that it was a fair assumption to say that it probably was made by someone from the Draconic Empire. And maybe they were reclaiming what they think it was theirs, or if it was given to you by someone like that, that I don't know. I'm just trying to fill in the blanks.
We have had it for a very long time. It was found deep in the desert. Not by us. Regardless of where it came from, we no longer have it. And our enemy does.
Well, I was hoping that maybe it was a gift and we could probably go and ask the person that gave it to you if they have a spare. That was my thinking.
These are not items that you have spares of. These are things of legend, girl.
Sure.
Does your commander have a spare of that sword I hear so much about?
No, but there are other ones. Not the Phoenix sword, but there was the Raven sword. That belonged to Ravenreach. There was supposed to be one from each city, so technically it kind of is a spare.
Do you know where they are? Simply because
No.
you have one?
No, they have been lost for a while. I see. Okay, well, so sorry to bother you. I will just keep going. Nice to meet you. Bye.
You are never a bother, dear. I adore
Ah.
company. When Broker comes back, you tell him I'm going to win another hand.
Wait, you have won against him? Have you?
Where do
Because
you think he's learning all his tricks?
because when we play together, it's always a tie. He tries to cheat, and I caught him. But then when I try to cheat, he caught me. I'm very bad at it, but I know when people are cheating. But I'm very bad at playing. So
I know when people are cheating as well. And I do not need to cheat to win.
That's bullshit.
So back to the present day.
Yeah.
Oh.
You you find Paige probably at a desk near your office,
Makes sense.
keeping track of logs and books. And he doesn't look up at first as you approach. He just says, while jotting things down into a book, "Ah, Commander. Excellent. This has arrived for you just recently." And he grabs a small, like,
Oh, not the newspaper then?
no, it's not the newspaper. It's like a heavy, it's like a heavy package, or no, it's not a heavy package. I'm trying to figure out how to describe it.
Bulky package?
It's like a bulky letter in like a thick, heavy, not in an envelope, but in like a thicker, heavier, like canvas packaging.
Oh. Yeah, like a legal binding sort of thing?
Kind of. Yeah.
Alright, I'd undo the strap and take a look.
You undo the strap, and the only thing in there is an iron coin that comes tumbling out. That is the same size and shape and inscription as the one that was left tossed onto the deck of Card's ship right before the explosions started.
Any idea who sent this?
No, sir. If you look on the package, it has a handwritten in a flourishing hand, address to you specifically, but there is no other indication of where it came from. It was left at the gate. I hadn't opened it. Paige is looked up and is staring at the object in your hands. What do you think it means, Commander?
According to Agranac, this is something of a holy symbol of Thundermaws.
What does it mean to us in this instance?
Well, I have an idea as to how I might find out. May I have a piece of paper real quick?
Of course, Commander. Yes, sir. And he hands one to you.
I'll just kind of briefly jot down. Received your message. May we talk? And I'll seal it back up, hand it to Paige. Or actually, we'll hand this to someone as we move towards the basement. They can put it in the same location that it was found in. And Paige, you may want to bring an empty logbook, because we have something of some rather keen interest that you may want to see, and we could use some help with.
Oh?
You'll see once we get down there. We can explain on the way, away from possible prying eyes and ears.
Is there anything I should bring with me? I've not been on an adventure before.
Your logbook and... oh, maybe a snack or two? Something to defend yourself with, yes. But, I mean, yeah. Out of character, part of the Legion, I would assume that he would have something to defend himself.
He would, yes.
And out of the character, you're not going to warn the Legion to be on guard for a potential attack?
I would, yeah, I'd relay that to Silver on the way down then.
He seems to be
And I would also be frank with them that, and I'm sure the others already looked over my shoulder to see what I was writing, right?
if they followed you there.
I think
Question: in what language did you write it on?
Actually, I probably would have done it in Orcish, yeah, but I would verbalize in that case what I was writing as I was saying it, but I would say it in common while writing it in Orcish.
Right.
You do realize Thundermaw will just kill us, right? There is no room for negotiation here.
Then why
Well,
send a message?
One of the first steps would be to understand your enemy.
To cause us to fear, to despair, and tax our concentration.
No, but she already did that in the desert. There's no.
She doesn't want us to spread word of her. That much we've learned from Agranak. As to the why, I would be interested in knowing.
Silver.
Well, unfortunately, she's already failed in that regard. Her presence is known to the nobility of this entire city, and
which means why then just send us these messages? She could just come and destroy us if that's what she wants, or destroy the entire navy, or do something a little bit more flashy than just.
She might be wanting to be stealthy for the time being. As to why is
even a dragon would be leery of facing off against the combined might of an entire city focused on defending itself from her. I think I believe she'll gather her forces to try and match them and overwhelm us completely before she'll make a move.
Or try and take us down from within.
And best way to take someone down within is to make them paranoid and doubt anyone around them.
Or to enlist the aid of those within the city, such as Weston.
Silver says, Silver says, didn't Card say one of these coins was tossed on his ship before all hell broke loose?
So more than likely they may have recovered what allowed them to travel on the astral plane.
Well,
not guaranteed, but quite likely.
Could this be... Could the message they're sending be you're next?
Entirely possible.
Have we just been marked for death?
We've been marked for death ever since we fled her in the desert, Silver. Nothing has changed.
That is part of why I wrote the message back.
Again, there's no hope of negotiation. You will not reason with her because you know that she exists.
I want to at least make the attempt or see if she's open to it. If not, nothing is lost.
Except possibly your life.
You planned on letting him go alone?
At that point, Paige walks up. He's got the Chronicle under one arm, and he's got a bag slung over his shoulder that has like his books and pens and parchments and stuff in it, and he has a sword that's kind of awkwardly bumping against his messenger bag as he walks up.
So, Paige, tell me, have you ever heard of Mythfont?
And,
well, we can wait for that down in the hallway.
Yeah.
But actually, once we get down to the hallway, you can do that.
Yeah.
Get
down the hallway.
Unless Silver had more to say.
No, you do that, and I think we'll end it with him asking that question and Paige's eyes lighting up.
Actually, to cap it off, and one thing I was wondering, when was the last time the Sword of the Legion could do this and light it up?
Nice. Well, we'll find out. Thanks for playing, guys. Let's
Hey, no
do
problem.
some
Good cliffhanger.
quick favorite moments. Stu, your favorite Gaz moment tonight?
Absolutely the interaction with the armor.
Nice.
Although, in terms of, being in character and it working out, the armor in character and it not working out, the tapestry. Trying to apply the same logic to a different puzzle didn't work.
No, it did not.
Please open the door. I'm a tapestry.
Actually, no, it wasn't even that. It was, can you understand me?
No, crickets.
Anybody else? Favorite Gaz
Uh,
moments?
Yes, protecting me from the tiles robot things.
The Stone Guardians.
Yes.
Yeah. That is a very Gaz thing to do. Gaz's absolute insistence on trying to peacefully negotiate, no matter who it is.
And Preacher's just endless frustration with that.
Well, there's something. In his defense, he wanted to negotiate with Carmichael, and Preacher wanted to destroy them just because of what they are.
I didn't.
He was hesitant to approach them.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
He wasn't House Keaton.
exactly.
No,
He was sympathetic towards House Keaton at first, but
Yeah.
And they decided to be other asshats about it.
exactly. Whereas Thundermaw, from his opinion, is like, she's a proven asshat, why bother?
Exactly.
Yes. Dio, favorite Sparks moment?
probably talking to Topaz. Like wanted to talk to him, but not really because she probably won't be fooled.
Yep.
Sparks' insistence on things, trying to get things to work out in her favor, and they constantly don't. I'm just going to take the sword. Nope.
Honestly, it was the fact that she brute forced it the way she did. That was unexpected.
Yep.
And then hastily and quietly, like, okay.
Nope. I'm sure you know what another one of those legendary artifacts is. Nope.
No.
Oh, Naomi had a good one.
I love how she wondered if she could take one of those things to her mom. Yeah, that was great.
Funny enough, we could potentially do something like that by activating them and then just standing still while she examines.
Depends.
Yes, for a long time because my role didn't work.
My
I tried to do that.
I actually enjoyed the fact that like when Sparks saw the armor moving around, her immediate response is, "Ooh, is this a golem?" And then when she realized that it was just enchanted, where Wintrix explained that it was just enchanted to do exactly what it did, she had visible disappointment.
Disappointed.
Very disappointed. Adam, favorite tricks moment?
I like that the party consistently forgets that I know how to use thieves' tools.
Yep.
But I think I enjoyed the. I think personally, it's my character's disdain for his elven side, which hasn't had a chance to come up yet.
Yeah.
And you were like, here's this long blown everything. I'm like, oh, just a bunch of old elves that liked this guy and gave him a sword and said he could be some old elves with them.
I think for me it had to have been that little aside comment near the end when I was writing the little note back. What, you would actually let him go alone?
Yeah.
Very much in character for Trix. Like, he doesn't really care one way or the other as to how something's dealt with. It's like, yeah, we back each other up.
Yep.
I really enjoy the fact that he was like, no, I will let Sparks do it. And I fail, and then he tries and he fails too. Like, I found it hilarious.
I could just like imagine the both of you like, no, do this way. You turn it this way. No, I got it.
Like an
Backseat
old married
picking.
couple.
I also like that I told Sparks to change into somebody, but we still haven't commented on the fact that I know she's under disguise self.
That's true.
I just addressed that she knows how to cast it and told her to change into someone.
Yeah,
And she
because
didn't.
Trix was locked up when you were
Yeah.
revealed to everybody else.
Well, yes, but
He's known you're under the disguise self spell for a long time.
she probably thinks that he might know, but he hasn't addressed the situation, so why will she bring it up?
Right,
Like-
right, yeah. No, it's
Well,
great.
it's funnier because in the moment it also makes sense why she wouldn't question it, because it's like, oh crap, bunch of big golems around me ready to beat my head in.
It's by the way, Sparks, that conversation with Preacher has been delayed, not abandoned.
Uh,
Also like that if there's ever a big conversation with Trix, you'll be like, okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can I borrow the hat sometime? No. Okay.
oh, you're a dragonborn. I don't care.
That's neat.
Yeah. John, favorite preacher moment?
Right there at the end. So, Paige, you ever hear of Mythfont?
Yeah,
Honestly, you should get an inspiration point for that one.
I agree. You should get an inspiration point for that one. Somebody give this man an inspiration point.
You can
Oh,
have
wait,
mine
that's
from
me.
earlier.
Go ahead, take an inspiration point.
Alright. Alright, got it on there.
Yeah, I keep accruing them, but I never spend the things.
You only get one.
Too useful to use.
I forgot what I spent mine on, but it didn't super help.
I give them out with a fair amount of regularity, so
Yeah, but it's that whole, like, I think everyone with inspiration points is just like, but I have to save it for the moment I absolutely need it, even though you're like, I give them out like every other game.
yeah.
Oh, every game. Sometimes twice a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will give them out multiple times a game, and everybody's always like, I already have one.
And for Preacher, similar to mine, one noble moment, one ignoble moment. The ignoble one being, oh, the vines we should just slash through. It's rare to see him opt for the brute force path.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just thought like it was like, oh, puzzles aren't working. Let's just throw a generic physical barrier in a way.
Yeah,
And then-
I like that he's sticking to his guns, that he's like, everything here is here for a reason. We shouldn't disturb it. And we're all like, we need all the help we can get.
And then for the noble one, right at the end, with the, okay, Commander, that is a bad idea. It's not going to go anywhere.
Yep.
Like, he's speaking from a genuine position there. Like, he's not
Yeah.
just naysaying or anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he did express the valid concern of, yeah, they could assassinate you rather easily in this circumstance.
Well, I mean, my invisibility spell can affect 2 additional people, so...
So the question there is, true sight.
It do be like that.
Dragons do have true sight.
They do.
Well, if it's herself, it might be a changeling for all we know.
Who knows?
We still have to figure that one out.
Man.
Oh, and Amy agreed with your assessment, Preacher.
Any DM moments tonight? I think I had a little rough time of it this evening. to
Honestly,
be honest.
it was, for me, it was the fact that you were struggling with, okay, you have enough, you have a lot of the information, but not all of it, and I don't want to just give it to you.
Yeah.
That was a very good GMing moment in terms of, okay, how do I strike this balance?
Mhm.
I like details even if the party doesn't use them. Like, there's clearly something up with that tapestry, and we're just like, yeah, whatever. But I like that there's more going on even if the party doesn't necessarily care that more is going on.
And we did finally piece that one together.
Yeah.
After
Thanks,
10
Emmy.
minutes of hacking.
Emmy said all of Mythfont. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of thought put into it. It's just that we didn't put as much thought into it.
It's
At least
okay.
past that first puzzle.
You're like, here is all of these crazy puzzles, and we're like, yeah, but plants hate fire, right?
Maybe the puzzles are a red herring.
No,
Communism's a red herring.
communism's red herring.
Probably would have helped if we had tried opening that first door and maybe then seen, oh, wait, massive amount of vines, solve the puzzle, oh, no vines anymore. Yay.
Well,
Or for all we know, the vines are just related to each other and the next one would be completely different.
I can't tell you.
Yep.
Sure you can.
That's why I gave you the easy out before you had to even attempt to clarify.
I can't tell you.
Well, you could, you just choose not to because it'd spoil the fun.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the fun.
It would be way less fun if you told us.
Are you guys enjoying Mythfont? Is it a boring slog, or is it too puzzly reliant upon?
When the actual combat starts, we're going to be severely under level for this place.
If combat starts, it could be all puzzles. Oops, all puzzles.
Are you guys having fun with it though? I don't want to put
Oh, yeah.
something in front of you that's not enjoyable.
You're good.
Like, none of it is the moon logic puzzle of the 90s adventure game.
Hey, I grew up playing Moon Logic games.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for playing, and thank you out there for watching. This has been A Company of Fools, and we are glad to be back. Next week will not be nearly as rough, I'm sure. I'm still getting back into the flow of running games. And I'm still kind of not 100%, so it is affecting my ability to think clearly.
What
But
The
as long as
Legion
you're
will be
paying
on the move.
What's that?
The Legion will be on the move.
It will. All right, everyone. We'll see you later. We'll probably do a
Good night,
raid.
folks.
So if
Have a
you're
good
in
night.
if you're in there, in the chat, and you want to hang around, find a place to raid. We'll see you later.
Night-night.